My friends, welcome back. So CADJPY is an amazing sell right now. I've entered a sell this morning. I just waited for price to get here to the weekly resistance zone, and as we popped up into here, I went ahead and got short. My stop loss is just above the zone. This is my actual trade. I've risked $50,000 on this trade, so if it breaks above and hits the stop, it'll be a 50K loss, and if it falls into profit, it'll be a $50,000 profit. Called this morning in my group. The last week we had it was a slower week than usual. Won a few trades, lost a few of them, but I still came out on top, $17,000 after fees and commissions. And CADJPY is not the only trade I'm looking to take this week. There's a little bit more trades we're going to be talking about here in the analysis group. So what we're doing here is if we go all the way to the top, I'm going to go through step by step every single bit of the analysis from today that I've shared. So we're going to keep going up through here, November 24th, 2025. We're going to go over the analysis. Now, a lot of the things, for those of you who are new to my channel, you'll see that I do very, very little on the charts. I teach everything about exactly how I trade for free at the link in the description. It's my free training course. You can register for that and just watch the video. It's just one video. It's about an hour long, and I just teach everything about how I trade step by step and how you can do the same thing there in that free training. So basically what I do is I buy and sell support resistance zones on the higher time frames. Time frames like weekly, daily, 4 hour. I put it all together and I use it to make trading decisions. And this morning I saw that CADJPY had come up into this resistance zone. We had tried to get above it, then we came back below, started finding resistance again, and I just entered a sell. So currently this trade sits in about $3,000 profit, and we will be seeing how that plays out. Now, there's a couple more this week. USD CHF, I'm looking for sells into the resistance zone. So when price gets here into the resistance zone, I'm going to be looking to sell. I think that will be a great place to sell. CADJPY, I took a trade on this last week. It resulted in a profit. I sold here at the resistance. It bounced down and closed in profit before the end of the week on Friday last week, and it was a decent trade. I'm waiting for it to come a little bit deeper into the zone, and like CADJPY, I'll be looking at sell. I'll probably only risk $25,000 on this instead of 50K if it sets up, because I'm already exposed to JPY through CADJPY. I'm also looking for NZDJPY. It will really need a big spike really deep into this zone, pretty close to 89.5, maybe 89.3 around the previous highs, but I'll be looking to sell NZDJPY if we get up there. Same thing here on GBP AUD. I was looking at sells last week, but now I think price might break above this zone. We refused to make a new low after a bounce there about a month ago, popped right back up into the zone. And whenever you go to the lower time frames on GBP AUD, you can see prices popped up into this zone, failed to make a new low there, made a higher low. Now we're coming up into this region and going sideways. I actually think price is going to be breaking above through this zone. So I'm not going to be getting short on GBP AUD. GBP CAD, I am looking to get short on. Price has been in this nice, big, huge range back and forth. I do think there's a good chance price could break above here, but I still think it's a reasonable trading opportunity. When we go to GBP CAD on the lower time frames, we'll go to the 1 hour. I'll give you a little, show you what I'm looking at. You can see prices had these big sweeps right here off the support, comes into the resistance, comes down off the support, into the resistance, off the support, and we had a nice little bounce last week, and now we're coming up here pretty close to the resistance. I think it presents a pretty good risk structure. If price got here into the zone, the basic kind of synopsis would be selling there with a stop just above the zone and a target at a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. That's how I trade. Again, everything at that link in the description. It's just step by step. Teach you how I trade for free. Very, very basic, very simple. I do like maybe 5% of what most people do here in trading using all these crazy complicated strategies. I don't do any of that. I've been trading for almost a decade. I've made millions of dollars trading Forex, crypto, and stocks, and I found the basics work better than anything. So AUD CAD, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do on this, but I have alerts here at the support zone and the resistance zone. So I'm waiting to either buy at the support or sell at the resistance. CADJPY, I was really tempted to sell right here, and this is right before I called the trade out this morning. This was at 7:18 a.m. That ended up calling a trade shortly after this. So price came up here into the zone, and then on the 1 hour, I broke it down on the 1 hour, and I said, you know what, even though price looks like it's still putting in a higher low right here, we have such a good risk structure here because it's so deep into the zone, especially after we failed to have like a blow off top past it, that I thought it would be worth the shot to still get short. Now, I don't know what'll happen. I've got an alert just above this zone on CADJPY so that I can reanalyze if it breaks above these highs. I can probably get out of it at a smaller loss there, or maybe wait for it to break out, and then if it comes back, I could close, maybe around break even or pretty close to it. Small loss, small profit, something like that. I'm going to be waiting to see what happens if it ends up just falling away from this zone, which I could totally see it doing that, given the fact that We haven't been up here to retest this zone in quite a while. Last time was a year ago. We had a drop. We had a drop here back in the beginning of 2024, another drop here in 2023, and then another drop at the bottom of the zone in 2022. It looks like a pretty reliable zone. I don't expect this to go forever, but maybe a move to like right there would probably be reasonable. Then my profit target as well before that. So we'll see what happens here on this trade. CADJPY right now presents the best risk structure. So if it does go into profit, it's got a good potential for profit. It's a good risk structure. So NZD-USD. I've been waiting on this for the past few weeks. If price gets here into the lows around the support zone, I'm going to be looking to buy right there, the stop below and a target above. It's a pretty cut and dry trade, pretty simple, pretty clean, pretty basic. Euro GBP. So I'm waiting for price to fall back into this zone and then buy. It's a basic break and retest setup. However, it's taken like, over a month, right? It's going up above this zone, been about a month and a half. And if it comes back down to this zone, which, this could take like the next few weeks, maybe. Perhaps we have a crazy sell-off the next week or two that comes into this zone, then I'll be looking to buy just to get a little kind of like natural bounce right there at the zone. We just broke the highs. I could really see it coming into this region and then bouncing. So I'll probably be setting things up a little bit more like this to take this trade, a little bit closer to the previous highs, right? So something like this is what I'm looking. You can see where my alert is there on the chart here at 0.8727. And I'll be waiting to see if we get there, be buying, stop below and a target above. So GBP NZD, I'm waiting to sell at the resistance. We're here on the weekly. Last time we were there at the weekly resistance zone back in October, we had a nice little drop. That was a couple weeks ago. Now, if we get back up here around 2.35, I think it'd be perfectly fine to take sells. Given the fact that we are making higher highs and higher lows, I could see this breaking out at some point. However, I do think it'd be perfectly fine to just be able to sell right there at a really good entry deep into the zone with a target just above this high right here, and then take profit at a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. So Euro USD, I'm still waiting on these zones to be reached. I'm still sitting here waiting. It's been like a month. If it gets into support, I'll buy. If it gets up here into the resistance, I'll sell after watching the price action. Pretty simple. GBP JPY. So very similar to the 2 trades ago. I'm waiting for price to get up here into this resistance zone, and then I'll sell. Stop above and a target below. Remember, I'm already short on CADJPY, so if I do take any more JPY setups, it'll probably just be one more, and I'll probably be using only $25,000 risk instead of $50,000 of risk. So that was all the analysis that I had here for today. Going over here, I like CADJPY quite a bit, and I like the fact that it's really deep into the zone. I don't try to predict where price is going to go. Instead, I try to wait for price to get to locations where it presents an optimal risk structure. If you'll see, my entry is right here at a place where if it starts going up, I can get out a little bit early. So take a smaller loss, maybe 20, 30K of a loss instead of the full $50,000 risk. But if it falls, right, it just barely has to fall down here to like 109.7 basically. And that's right around where these previous highs were. And I could totally see that happening if we get moving to the downside. It's a little tug there off the weekly zone. Last week was good. Made $17,000 last week. Week before that, made about $20,000. And the week before that, made like $100,000. Right now, this account is up to 520, I think 528,000, 522,000 or something like that. It's going very, very, very well. This account was at like $250,000 about 2 months ago. And over the past 2 months, I've grown this account over $250,000. So we're getting close to the $300,000 mark for where it was at 2 months ago. So I'm trying to grow this account to 750,000. Then I'm probably going to pull some out and buy some crypto. And then if I can keep growing it, that'd be great. If I pull $250,000 out, grow it from 500K to $1 million after that, and then we'll see how it goes throughout the rest of this year and going into 2026. Be really, really cool. I risk anywhere from $25,000 to $100,000 per trade, given the trading opportunity. And I manage things dynamically, but it's very, very simple, basic support resistance. Those are my trade setups for this week. Again, make sure you join my free trading courses at the link in the description. You can do that. You can learn exactly how I trade for free. So you can be able to set up trades like this for yourself. And I will see you in the next video, my friends. Cheers.